Hi, this is Steph from A Little More, and today I am going to show you how to make a Podge monogram. And so what you're going to need is you're going to need a paper mache letter. What I have is a 23.5-inch size. It's made by Doris. You can get it from your local craft stores, Amazon, and I'll make sure that I provide the links for you. You're also going to need a foam brush, Mod Podge. Now the reason that you don't want to use photo paper or actual photos is they are not meant to get, Mod Podge is not meant for on actual photo paper. What's going to happen then is your ink is going to run. So what I would suggest is that when you bring your photos in, like these were color pictures that I just pulled off of Facebook and other things, and what is nice about that is that you can take any photos that you have, resize them, make them so they'll be able to fit onto your monogram, and you don't need to worry about whether or not they're colors or not. So that makes it just a really nice thing so it can look really uniform. And okay, so as you are cutting, what I like to do is just make sure I put all the things over here, and then when I'm finished, I just kind of start laying them around, seeing how they kind of piece and what I like together, make sure nobody's next to too many things. And then I would begin to do a mock-up on here. So see what it looks like. It's totally fine if it overhangs, because once we apply the Mod Podge, it's actually going to overlap. Another option is if you only had enough pictures to do the entire part, you can paint the sides. You can do it a pop of color. You can do it solid black. So as you start putting things out, I like to do a dry run. Don't start Mod Podging right away until you are absolutely sure that you love. Okay, so now you can see that I have taken my photos and I am arranging them, rearranging them, seeing how they fit. And I just wanted to show you that you can see that I have overhang off. I don't want you to worry about that. Make sure all the spots of the letter are covered now. And what's going to happen is when we lay our thin layer of Mod Podge on next, we're actually just going to start to wrap around. Now what you can do on the sides afterwards, don't do it yet, but you can apply more pictures, or like I said, you can put paint. But for now, the goal is to make sure that you like the order that it's in, that everything's in the right spot. Okay, so once you are sure that it fits like a puzzle exactly the way you want, I've gone ahead and started moving my items over. So you don't want to have any pictures on while you're Mod Podging except for the ones you're working with. So you're going to take what you have laid out over here and you're going to move it into a surface that is next to you, and start making it exactly the way that it is, so it's really easy to carry over and there's no... Okay, so a few tips for working with Mod Podge is, first of all, you want to have a damp washcloth or paper towel, something next to you, not because you're using it for your project, because your hands are going to get sticky and you don't want the sticky to go on top of your picture. So as you lay things down, if you have residue on your hands, just go ahead and wipe it off. Make sure your hands are dry before you go to the next one. It's a messy project, so don't do this right after you get your nails done, but I promise you it'll be worth it in the end. Okay, so what you're going to do is, using your foam brush, you're going to just lightly get into the Mod Podge and you're going to do a very thin layer. And when I mean thin, I mean extremely thin. And I work in 2 to 3 inch sections. You don't want to do any more than that because it will begin to dry. So you're going to get your, see how thin that's going on? Extremely thin. Okay, next you're going to start attaching. So this is going to be my first picture that I'm applying. And what I like to do is I like to take an old gift card or a credit card, and I just like to smooth out any bubbles. Bubbles are not your friend in this project, so do yourself a favor and just make sure right from the get-go you're getting it nice and smooth. If there's overhang, it's going to go right down. So don't be afraid. We're going to put more on this. And I wanted to show you that you can see that it has overhang. And what I've done on the pieces that have overhang is I've actually applied a little bit of Mod Podge to the bottom of the picture, and it just makes it malleable. So it would just, do you see how that just ends up getting nice and smooth? And that is the beauty of paper. And you can see, because I've Mod Podged it on the side, it has gone ahead and adhered, and it makes it just really, really easy to go around. So don't feel intimidated if you have overhang. And like I said, just work in very small, thin sections. If you go over too heavy, just spread the love. And if it does get to the point where it dries, don't worry, it's so thin that it's not really going to be bulky. So it's really no big deal. So you just want to start building. Okay, so for this, you're going to take your Mod Podge. Still super, super thin, but this time you're going to go right on top. Don't worry about it. The only thing I would tell you is that as you're doing it, figure out which direction that you're going to go, because you want to stay in the same grain, a thin layer over the entire top. And like I said, I would still go in small sections. What this is going to do, it's going to do your final coat, and it's going to protect your pictures. You can go back as you're finished or as you're going and make sure that you're also getting the sides on here. You can see that it seems a little bit goopy. No worries. Thanks. Okay, so once you are all finished, you are ready to hang if you want it on your wall, which I do. And I use these just picture hangers that have little teeth. Make sure that it's level. Make sure it's even. And the nice thing, because it's paper mache, when you line up your nails, they're really just gonna poke right through. So it was really no tools necessary other than your... Okay, as you can see, we're all done. The hooks are on, all the pictures are on. And I wanted to give you just a little bit of a close-up because I did not paint the sides like I suggested. I ended up continuing on with pictures, so no matter what angle you are looking at, you are getting a different view and a different picture, and I just really love the way it turned out. It's really a statement piece for all of your memories, and great if you lack a lot of shelf space, so great for graduations and wedding gifts when you just want to compile so many memories and in a tight space. And I also wanted to show you my original in comparison. Now these are done with bigger pictures, but you know, I did this 6 years ago and I have a whole lot more memories now. So I hope that you enjoyed it and try it and